Good morning, Z Team.
Good morning.
Welcome to this Saturday morning teaching training session that we have every single Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11. Is it 11, Mark Langley? 11 Eastern time. I'm thinking that's what it is. You know, these time zones, they kind of just get messed up in my head after I work all day long at different time zones. So anyway, welcome to the Z Team training session, Saturday, December 9th. Welcome. All right, so we're going to get this party started because we're a minute after. So we like to stay on time, respect everyone's time. And today is our first day that we are going to expand to an hour. We have always done a half hour, but we really need a little bit more of Michael Zappia's time. And each and every one of you know this man is incredible. He's been my mentor for years. Many people on the screen has had him as a mentor, and he's a very, very close friend of mine as well. Many of you have reached out to him because you want him to train your teams and everything. So that's when we decided we need more time. So we are extending it to an hour. I'm going to pass it over real quickly because we want to take every single second of that hour for him to teach. So you guys, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mr. Michael Zappia, who has so many talents, so many gifts. He is so funny. He is just, he can do graphics, he can sing, he can dance, he can, oh my gosh, everything. He can do it all. And I know he doesn't like hearing all that because he doesn't believe me, but he does have many, many talents. And I'm going to pass it over to him before I can't go any further because Michael Zappia, take it away.
I love you.
Show them what you have.
Yeah, you got to drop the dancing from the repertoire. I haven't been. I'm 40.
Hey, I've seen you dance. We had something that was called mailbox dancing.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I did break it down that day. I was surprised. I think I blew out a hip too, but that's all right. Anyway, hey guys, put your hands together for Colette Daniels leading this amazing team of over 1,000 some odd people. She's killing it right now. Amazing. And then give yourselves a round of applause as well, because she can't do it without all the leaders that are willing to follow and really just duplicate what she's doing. So Colette, I'm really proud of you. So excited for this venture. I want to thank you. I want to start out by doing a little teaching that I think is really important for all of you that I wish I would have learned early on in my career. And then I've got a very special guest I'm going to introduce to you. It's going to be very impromptu, but it's going to be beautiful. I promise you. But the first thing I want to share with you all is, and if you're taking notes, please write this stuff down. This is gold. This is pure gold you're going to get this afternoon or this morning. I promise you. I don't say that like it's my gold I'm giving you. I'm just sharing and passing on some things that I've learned from many, many people in my life. I've had a few mentors in my life, and one of my mentors is here with me this morning, and I'm tickled to have Mr. Richard Burnett here. I'm going to introduce him momentarily. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say some things that he taught me that you're going to know. For those of you who followed me before, you're going to know because I'm going to tell you that I got that from Mr. B. Remember this, we're only doing an hour this morning because the mind can only absorb what the butt can endure. That was from Richard Burnett. I got that power quote from Mr. Burnett. I got a ton of power quotes from Mr. Richard Burnett, but write that in your notes. Understand that you're only going to absorb a little bit of information. That's why we only teach in small little spurts of a half an hour to an hour, but we document everything we do here and we put it up on ZTEAM.FAMILY YouTube channel so that everyone on this team, when we grow into the tens of thousands of people, they'll be able to go back into the archives and deem some information and deem some training 24/7 because this stuff will be on a loop for you guys whenever you need it. But here's what I want to share with you. Everyone think about the person who introduced you to Transact Card. Will you do that for me real quick and write their name on a piece of paper? Who's the person who introduced you to this business? Write that name down. Now, some of you, when you wrote that name down, are thinking to yourself, yeah, they introduced me, but they haven't done anything. As a matter of fact, I haven't heard from them in 5 months, 4 months, 3 months, 2 months. By show of hands, is there anyone who's in that situation where someone enrolled you and they're not on the screen? Let me see if they're not on the screen. I can't raise my hand. They're not on the screen. Okay, good. Everyone's got people that actually did. Okay. No matter what, I want you to know this. And it took me years to learn this. Always thank the person who introduced you to the business. That person did you the biggest favor. As a matter of fact, Colette, I was thinking last night about Candy Clayton. And I am grateful for Candy Clayton because Candy introduced this business to you and you introduced it to me. And whether we work with Candy on a regular basis or not, we should always be grateful because she introduced us to it when she introduced us to it. Does that make sense, everybody? So if I have one tip for you in network marketing, don't waste time being angry at your upline or the person who enrolled you or your lack of a sponsor if you don't have a sponsor. If you're in a situation where you're here today and the people that brought you in aren't with you, I want you to always have gratitude towards the person who introduced you, whether they're here or not. Are we clear? I spent the better part of my career being mad at the people who introduced me because they never helped me. They never did anything for me. So write this in your notes. Nobody owes you anything. The fact that they shared it with you is all that they were supposed to do. Whether or not they do anything moving forward, that's neither here nor there. It sure would be nice to have your sponsor in the business with you. But I want to let you know I've been in this industry for 21 years now. And very rarely has the person who introduced me to the business, other than this time with Colette, which is why you got a big smile on my face right now, very rarely has my sponsor ever really done anything for my business. But here's what's beautiful. We have a team right now where nobody slips through the cracks. If you happen to come into this ecosystem through Colette when she started telling people about this, you're fortunate because you got the greatest upline in the world. Write that in your notes. You got the greatest upline in the world. You got the best mentorship, the best teacher in Colette, and then all of us who are alongside of her to teach you and help you build a business. We meet twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays. We're a family here. As a matter of fact, there's someone on the screen right now who's not in our particular line of sponsorship in our organization. She texted me about 15 minutes before the meeting, asked me for the link. I'm not going to close the door from people that don't have the right kind of support system. We don't live like that. We don't work like that. So there's people here today that want this information, want to be able to plug into an ecosystem like this, and you're more than welcome to do so. So don't feel like you're an outsider. Yeah, you can say hi to us, Karen. I wasn't going to shout you out, but if you're raising your hand up, we're good. Anyways. That leads me to my next teaching point this morning. Oh boy, this one's painful. This one's painful. Colette, this one's painful for you and I. I mentioned earlier, always thank the person that introduced you, but you guys have a responsibility to introduce this business to everybody you know, don't you? Is everyone taking on the responsibility to at least introduce this business to everyone you currently know over the past 23 years of your life? Some of you were like, wait a second, I'm older than 23. I was being kind to the fact that there are some older people on the screen, including myself. We are not a bunch of spring chickens in this organization, as Mark Langley's laughing with that bald head with the white on the side. Mark, I don't know if I lose my hair in the middle. I don't know if I'm going to keep it on the side like you. I'm just letting you know, if it starts to really go right here, I'm just shaving the whole thing off and I'm going all in with that. But I love the white on the side. I like the color you got going. I'm certainly jealous of that bright white Santa Claus do you got there. But I got to tell you, when all this finally leaves, Colette, would you do me a favor? If I don't shave the rest of it off, just come over and shave my head in the middle of the night. I don't want the rest to just linger on the sides. I'm just letting you know. Mark, I'm not making fun of you, brother. I love you. I'm just having fun with you. So here's and this is wonderful. Here's a point of teaching for you. If you don't reach out to everyone you know and somebody else does, how are you going to feel about that? If somebody else, like, let's say, enrolled one of your mentors into the program, would you be happy with that? So I want to do the introduction now. Mr. Burnett's been blowing my phone up and emailing me now for the past 5 months. In around August, he got involved with this company called Transact Card. He's been emailing me, and it pained me every time I saw his email. I'm like, oh, please tell me Mr. B's not in Transact Card. Please tell me he's not in Transact Card. I want to let you know that this is not a painful thing for me at all. I'm beyond that point in my career. There's plenty of people out there, but I sure would have loved to have introduced this to one of my mentors, and I didn't. And the first thing he said to me when we finally got on the phone yesterday on my way to my dealership, he said, why didn't you introduce me? I would have joined you. And now he's here with us today. And the beautiful thing about this man is all I had to do is ask him, do you jump on and talk a little bit with me and my partners this morning? And he said, absolutely. So let me do a proper introduction after I let you say hello to everybody. Mr. Burnett, can you hear and see me okay? Oh, we can't hear you. Let me make sure you're unmuted. I asked you to unmute there. Colette, can you unmute him on your end?
I got it.
Oh, there you go. How you doing, Mr. B?
I'm doing great.
Oh, man, it's so crazy to be face-to-face with you right now in front of the whole team. First of all, I love you. I miss you. I've learned so much from you. I'm actually going to ask you to teach the team the 4 ifs. Colette, remember the 4 ifs that I turned into the 5 ifs? I got that from Mr. Burnett. We're going to have him teach it in a moment. But let me do a quick introduction. Guys, it was around 2003 when I got into this great profession of network marketing. It changed my life. My very first mentor's name is Richard as well. I always joke about two of my mentors because their names were both Richard. And I always say, I chose a mentor with the name Richard for a reason, because every day they woke up and said, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. I wanted to follow people that had positive self-talk, and Mr. Burnett's a positive person. But I was taking a break from the profession. I think I talked about this on a previous Zoom that we did as a teaching a couple of weeks ago. I took a break because the company I was with wasn't ready. And I happened to walk through the front doors of a building in Las Vegas, Nevada, Henderson, Nevada, called the Top Gun Network. And this Mr. Burnett stood in front of the room and he did a teaching that wowed me. At the time, I had been listening to a gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn, and I mentioned him on last week's Zoom. Jim Rohn is, in my opinion, one of the greatest philosophers, one of the greatest speakers, one of the greatest mentors and teachers in the history of the personal development industry. I still listen to his videos, still to this day. Just the other night, I was watching one of his videos on YouTube. I could never get enough of Mr. Rohn. And when I met Mr. Burnett, I started to hear things that sounded very familiar to me. And when we shook hands after the meeting, he had mentioned to me that he was the vice president of sales and training for the first Jim Rohn personal development company. So him and Mr. Jim Rohn were the closest of friends. Mr. Rohn passed away many, many years ago. But Mr. Burnett was his VP, his first VP in his personal development program. And then Mr. Burnett went on to change the lives of hundreds of thousands of people in the personal development industry. He's done seminars where he's spoken to massive crowds of thousands, tens of thousands of people. And he's actually personally mentored in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. And I'm probably undershooting the number, but Mr. B is not about himself. He loves helping other people. And Mr. Burnett, thank you for being with us today. Thanks for being my mentor, and thanks for sharing some words of wisdom with us today. What would you like to share, sir?
Well, first of all, when I met Michael years ago, I told him I wrote in a book, I believe, I can't remember the exact quote, but I wrote, "You're a superstar in the making," and I've proven that to be true, or Michael's proven that to be true. The only difference now is Michael has dark hair and I have no hair. So consequently, I've been exposed to Mike for a long time. He's a great guy. I love him dearly. And all the things that he's doing and has done in the past has proven that he's a great leader in terms of building a team and building companies. So that would be the first thing. Michael talked about one of my mentors, Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn and I met in 1971. I had put off as long as I could a gentleman named Michael Waldman. If you're out there, Michael, I'm looking for you. And Michael Waldman came to me. I was an executive of the Fluor Corporation. If you know what the Fluor Corporation in Southern California is, they employed 50,000 employees in many, many countries. And I was their main instructor in terms of leadership dynamics. And Michael came to my door almost weekly, I'd say. You have to hear Jim Rohn. And I was so arrogant, I said, Jim Rohn has to hear me. And so consequently, I said, here's the deal. Last time Michael and I said, Michael, here's the deal. I will come hear Jim Rohn, provided you never, ever show up on my doorstep again. And he said, deal. And so I went to hear Jim Rohn. I think it was about a week later, 2 weeks later. And I was the first one on my feet to give Jim Rohn a standing ovation. He was the best speaker at that time that I ever heard. And I was so grateful that Michael had been persistent in terms of getting me to hear Jim Rohn. 2 weeks later, I resigned from the Fluor Corporation. It was not easy because I was in really a great position. And I became a vice president of sales, corporate sales for Jim Rohn for 3 years. He and I put 50,000 people through seminars in Orange County, California, on a monthly basis. And he taught me so much in terms of one-liners in particular, but also some of the things that Michael alluded to that he has heard from me, they actually came from Jim Rohn. Jim came to my 60th birthday party 17 years ago. Unfortunately, he has passed in 2006. I was amazed that everyone wanted to hear and meet Jim Rohn. They didn't care about my birthday party. They just wanted to meet Jim Rohn. So, but he's a dear friend and a dear mentor. So looking back over the years, Michael looks very young. I'm not certain how young I look, Michael, but I'm 78, and it's unbelievable that all this time has passed. And that's why it's so important to grab a hold of an opportunity and go with it when you find the right opportunity. And I really believe that Transact is the right opportunity. In my 52 years of being in a consultant in business, I think it's one of the best opportunities I've ever seen. And given their track record so far in terms of what they've been able to accomplish, I think you would agree with that. The structure of putting any company good. I've been involved in probably 30 or 40 network marketing companies and direct sales companies of different sorts. This is the singular best company I've seen in 52 years. And I'm glad all of you are in agreement with that. And it's all about timing. One of Michael's mentors and my mentors was a guy named Richard Hall. And he said all the time that an opportunity is never lost. It just goes to someone else. And having said that, I would say that we're very fortunate to be in the Transact at the time we're in. And it's not perfect yet. It never is. And you have to be patient. The challenge is their heart is right. Their ethics are right. They want to do right by people. The timing is phenomenal in terms of what we're offering people. And I would say from the standpoint of my timing and the things I've been involved with, it's one of the best timing opportunities I've ever had. So as far as some ideas, Mike said some of the ideas he has used in terms of teaching you came from me, but in reality, they came from Jim Rohn. And the challenge is you have to grab the opportunity when it's hot. And all of us are in a perfect position to take maximum advantage. And I was fortunate, going on what Michael said, you need to mentor or tell people about your mentor. My mentor, in terms of introduced me to this opportunity, is Jan Cleary, who happens to be on the line right now. Jan is one of the singular best people I've ever met in my entire life, of doing hundreds of thousands of people seminars. In terms of attention to detail, people skills, caring about people. She's a superstar like Michael. I talked about Michael being a superstar also. So the key to any opportunity is being willing to take a chance, because all the questions you have are not going to be answered initially. It takes a little bit of time. I joined with Jen. I joined the company, and I think it was August 10th or August. I think it was August 10th. And I was hesitant, probably like many of you. And I was really caught up with Jen's enthusiasm, because I had met Jen and Dan, her husband, who's passed away sadly. I met them 35 years ago. And I was doing a seminar for a company in California. And all the things that Jen personifies are the things that this company personifies. It's attention to detail and really taking charge of the opportunity when you have it. So some of the things that Jim taught me, Jim Rohn that is, for things to change for you, you have to change. Okay, and one of my challenges early on, because I joined the Fluor Corporation at age 25 and rose to the top very quickly. In fact, they offered me 3 promotions, and I turned on every one of them, because I wanted to stay in California and play volleyball at the beach. Think about how ridiculous that is. But anyway, I had an opportunity there, and we have an opportunity now. And so for things to change for you, you have to change. What are the things that are going to propel you to success? Some of which, as Michael's, I'm certain has talked to you about many of them, if not all of them. And the thing that's the most important is you need to make hay while the sun shines. Make certain that you're on top of your game. Make sure. And I had not been fully engaged in Transact until a couple of months after I got involved or was introduced to it. And it's only now that I realize what a phenomenal opportunity we have. Now, for things to change for you, you have to change. What are the things that are holding you back? What are the things that you could do differently or do better? What are the things that you want to amplify in terms of techniques from Michael or myself or whoever that is going to propel you to the success that you need and want? And I can come up with a lot of them myself because I've been there and I've done that. And the challenge with everyone on this call and anyone in life in general is sometimes you don't realize how important every moment is. Yeah, I'll be 79 this coming March. The challenge about life is it goes by so quickly. And you don't never know when the next opportunity will arrive, if it ever arrives. So for things to change for you, you have to change. What are the things you want to change? Secondly, you need to set goals on a monthly basis. Sometimes I've said it before, daily basis, but that's too soon. You need to run with some things, first of all, that are working or are not working. And unfortunately, I've had a number of, if you know what a TIA is, I've had a number of mini strokes over the time Michael and I were together. And you do not realize how important your health is. You really got to take care of your body, your mind, your spirit. And I would urge all of you to read books. Now, I don't know how many books I've read total, well over 1,000, maybe 1,500. And if a book it catches my imagination, I'll read it 100 times. But if it doesn't catch my imagination, I'll probably read it halfway through and I'll set it aside. There's so many, in fact, I'm going to be sending to Mike my recent book I printed about 3 or 4 years ago. And I listed all the books that I've read that had a meaningful impact on me. And meaningful impact to me means it caused me to change a behavior pattern. And like I said earlier at the top of the call, for things to change for you, you have to change. And we all need some fine tuning. And it's the people like Michael that are bringing the message to the table in terms of things that work and things that don't work. I remember talking to Michael not that long ago about a company, and he was not very excited about it. And I know now why. And I'll talk to you about that off the record, Michael. So I see you have
You
a
got
question
it.
mark on your face.
You got it. Yeah, I'm interested
Okay.
to see which one it was.
So anyway, you mentioned Michael the forest. What are the forests?
Oh, you want me to show you?
I do.
Mr. B? Okay. Guys, it's amazing. And I love what Mr. Burnett's doing this morning. This is so impromptu. We didn't prepare for this. I just knew that whatever he shared would be apropos. It would be perfect. And Colette, it's perfect. I've got chills here. I'm almost welling up in tears because it's just so great to be able to sit next to a mentor who taught you so much and be able to let him do what he did. Now, Mr. B, I want to let you know that I did learn the 4 ifs from you, but then I changed them to the 5 ifs. So I apologize for plagiarizing and then changing it up a bit. And let's see if I can remember what the 5th if is. So guys, Mr. B taught me, and I love this, one of my favorite lessons. And believe it or not, even before I spoke to him yesterday, Colette, when you asked me to think about what the team needs to hear, I went back to the basics in the blueprint that we wrote, and I was going to teach the 5 ifs this morning. So Mr. B said to me years ago, he said, Michael, you'll be successful if you do these 4 things, but I'm going to change them to 5 here. And I think he's going to appreciate the 5th one. Number 1, if you join. Now, by show of hands, who here joined Transact Card? Great. He got me excited because I already achieved one of the ifs. I was like, this is great. I'm already on the team. I already signed the rep agreement. I'm already in the company. If you join, you got to make the decision to get involved. And you got to go forward. And in order to do that, you have to take your foot off of first base and start running towards second. You got to get in the business. So when you're sitting with people, they got to make that decision. Once they do, that's when the work begins, as me and Colette teach. The work begins after someone joins, not before. A lot of you all think that the work happens up until the point where they join you. No, the work happens after they join. That's when the bulk of the work happens. Number 2 is if you learn. If you learn. And Mr. Burnett just alluded to the fact that he read over 1,000 books. He's a learned man, and he speaks He just emits and omits everything that he's learned over his lifetime. It's just amazing to be around people who have that much specialized knowledge on a subject. I'm telling you, you could sit with this man for hours, and you sit there with a journal, you'll never get tired of learning and learning and learning. So if you learn, you're going to have to learn some things. Now, what are you going to have to learn? You're going to have to learn some things about Transact Card, yes? The good news is none of us has to be an expert in Transact Card. You're going to have to learn some things about how to build this business, which doesn't require you to have all the answers. As a matter of fact, it doesn't require you to have any of the answers in the beginning. All you are in the beginning is a professional inviter and an introducer to the Zooms, to the three-way calls, to the three-way Zooms, to the company Zooms. But you're going to have to learn some things, especially if you want to become a leader. And we all agreed on this screen last week that we're all leaders leading leaders, not leaders leading followers. But you're going to have to learn. Number 3 is if you care. If you care. If you care, you got to care about people. This is a business where we talked about this before. When you enroll somebody in the business, you become that person's sponsor. Now, the root word there, sponsor, responsible, sponsor. You're responsible for the person that you enroll. Does everyone understand that? This is not a business where we're a bunch of recruiters and we're going to go sign a bunch of people up and then just leave them to their own devices to figure this thing out. No. You have to care about them. As a matter of fact, write this in your notes. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You can't tell somebody, I care about you. That's great. That's lip service. You know how people know you care about them? When you call them, when you follow up with them, when you ask them, hey, what can I do for you to dig into that list? What do we got to do to get some three-way calls and some introductions happening this week? When they call you at 12 o'clock at night, how many of you have been here before? This business is hard. Have you ever broke down in tears because you're not succeeding the way you want to? Anybody been there before? You know what a great sponsor is who cares about your team? You're there for your teammate way above and beyond the Transact Card business. You know, I met Valentine weeks ago when I talked to Valentine, one of our teammates, and she was going through a tough time in her life. And I had just met her through Steve Yurjevich, and I wanted to be there through Mark Langley. I just wanted to be there for Valentine. And I spent time with her. I want to just help her get through it. And now, has anyone heard from Valentine lately? The woman's on fire. She's excited about life. She's excited about her direction. And it's because I was there for her as a power team member to let her know, hey, I care about you. I've been where you've been before. Had a heart attack a year ago. I got the scar to prove it. I'm never going to be a fitness model again. I can't believe this. I'm never going to be a fitness model again. But you got to care about people. Now, here's the 4th one that I added that Mr. Burnett didn't teach me, but I'm sure he would agree. It belongs in the ifs. If you work your tail off. And this is something that I pride myself on, is I'm here in a building called Sandia Toyota. I'm working full-time on my job and part-time on my fortune. Would you like to hear my story? Who did I get that from, Mr. Burnett? Got that?
Someone I know.
Yeah, Mr. Jim Rohn. Work full-time on your job and part-time on your fortune. Many of us on the screen have other things going on in our lives in order to make ends meet, correct? Transact Card is not bringing in the bushels and bushels of money yet. Once those swipes happen and that Z Club goes live and we have 20 million SKUs, I absolutely believe that we are all going to be in a much better position to do whatever the heck we want to do whenever we want to do it, provided we work our tails off today. If there's one thing that I wish I can teach you, but here's the problem. I can't teach you this one. I told Colette years ago in a group of people I was mentoring, there are 4 or 5 things I can't teach you. Number 1 is I can't teach you how to have a burning desire to go after something with everything you got. I can't teach you work ethic. You either got it or you don't. When I walk out these doors after this meeting in 31 minutes, I got 3 cars I'm already selling today. I love it. And I'll get to the woo in a second. I already got 3 cars I'm selling today. I get excited about that. This dealership hates me. These other salesmen on the floor hate me. I'm the new guy that joined 9 months ago, and I'm outworking every single one of these guys. Why? Because I learned a long time ago from Mr. Jim Rohn, you make up in numbers what you lack in skill. You make up in numbers what you lack in skill. So you're not very skillful. You don't have all this information yet. Then you go out there and you talk to more people, because I got news for you. The person who talks to the most people about Transact Card wins. Trust me when I tell you. And I hope you're getting excited about this, because I am. The person who figures out a way to talk to the most people wins in Transact Card. Do you want to win? Now, it sure would be nice if you had skills where everyone you talk to, you enrolled that person, like a Colette Daniels. She can't miss. She's on fire. She's completely on fire, which is why if you don't have the skills, bring all your people to Colette in a big group for them and let her enroll 20 people at a time on a Zoom. You get to leverage her skills and her energy and her enthusiasm and her relationship with Peter Rancy as their very, very close personal friends. You can't put someone in front of Colette without that person knowing that she believes in this company with all her heart. You got me? So if you work your tail off, if you work your butt off, you got to work. Here's the best part about the work we do here. It's not digging ditches. You're not going to break your back building your Transact card business. All you got to do is sit in front of your computer and meet people at a coffee shop or have people come over your house or jump on a Zoom. I mean, this is not hard work. Now, it's not easy work either. It's simple work. Write that down. It's simple. Anyone can do this. Can anyone become a president on this screen right now? Absolutely. Will everyone on this screen become a president? Absolutely not. You know what I've learned over 21 years? I can't teach you some of the things I wish I could teach you. We teach so much in this business like we're doing this morning, but if I could really teach you one thing, I'd teach you how to work harder. I'd teach you how to have a burning desire. I'd teach you how to have a why so big it makes you cry. I would teach you the things that, quite frankly, we can't teach people. But we'll do the best we can to just lead by example and lead through osmosis, and hopefully you catch some of that fire. Colette works her tail off. Morning till night, she's on the Zoom. You know why? She kind of put herself in a really tough spot. She decided to build a really big foundation of a team. And now you know what she can't do? Ignore the text messages and the phone calls. Now she's pretty much screwed if you think about it. She has to help all of you, and she loves every minute of it. But Colette works her tail off. First person I've met since I've been in this industry that I think can almost go blow for blow with me. I wouldn't say Colette is that crazy because she also values her family, her dogs, her granddogs, her kids. She has other responsibilities in life, where I had a heart attack a year ago because I'm the guy that says when I get into something, I'm doing nothing else but this thing. I actually admire Colette. She gets just as much done as me while keeping a nice balance in her life. I wish I was like that. Maybe I wouldn't have almost dropped dead a year ago. But you got to work your tail off. So let me review. If you join, if you learn, if you care, if you work your tail off, and number 5 is if you stay. Coming and going is easy. I remember Mr. Burnett saying, coming and going is easy. It's the remaining and the staying and the persistence and the never quit, never say die attitude that will make you successful in this program. As a matter of fact, I will guarantee every single person on the screen success. Guaranteed, provided you never quit. But you got to keep in mind, you have to work, you have to care, you have to learn, and you had to join in order to get to that point where you never quit. So those are the 5 ifs that I plagiarized from Mr. Richard Burnett. One of the many, many things that he taught me that I've been teaching now for 21 years since I've been in the profession. And years ago, me and Mr. B had a chance as my mentor. He allowed me to enroll him into a program, a video program we mentioned many times. And me, him, and Mark Langley on the screen are 3 of the people. I think Brian Howard tasted that for a minute 2 years ago before we knew who each other were. And we were a part of a company that exploded to about 50 million in sales in 12 to 18 months. Transact Card is going to explode to $500 million to $1 billion in sales in the next 24 months. And if you join, learn, care, work, and stay, then you're going to be able to experience this ride, and it's going to be a beautiful ride, but it's going to be a roller coaster ride. So I'm going to teach you one more thing Mr. Burnett shared, and then I'm going to kick it back to him. You must learn how to discipline your disappointments. This was such a tough one for me, guys. Such a tough one. You must discipline your disappointments. What does that mean? This business is going to disappoint you. You get all excited. You got someone that's about to jump on the Saturday morning team Zoom. You did a presentation for them Friday night. Here we are Saturday morning. They're so excited. Oh my God, Mike, I'm going to be there. What's the website? ZTEAM.live. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. About 5 minutes to, you're on early and you're looking around. You're looking in the lobby here. You're looking at the participants. There's 55 people. Where the heck is my friend? She said she was going to be here. Now you're looking at the phone like, do I call her? Do I text her? No, I don't want to seem desperate. I don't want to do that. The top of the hour hits and she didn't show up. Disappointing, right? 5 minutes after, still not there. You were excited the night before. I got a new partner. They're going to be on the Zoom. And oh my God, they're going to meet Richard Burnett and Michael Zappia. This is game over. They're in. They don't show up. Now the emotional curve starts to kick in. Any of you ever been there before? Any of you there this morning? Teammates said they'd be here. They're not here. Guess what? At about 10:30, you get a text message. I'm so sorry. my son, blah, blah, blah. I had it and I give you an excuse. I'm so mad that I missed it. And now you get excited because they didn't blow you off. They didn't ghost you. They just had something come up. You know what? I'm going to send you the recording of this morning's Zoom. Will you check it out? And they check it out and they watch it and they call you back. That was the best teaching I've ever heard. I want to be a part of this Z team. Get me in. Here's my credit card. Sign me up. They sign up. For about a week, you don't hear from them. Anyone ever been there before? You don't hear from them. They're gone. They ghosted. You're like, what the heck happened? A week later, you get a phone call and she says, you know, I shared that with my husband. She did not like the Zappia guy. He did not like, he said, oh my God, he's from New York and my husband hates New Yorkers. I'm sorry, Colette, I'm going to have to ask for my $495 back. The emotional curve. Discipline your disappointments. Can I give you the cure? And then I'll throw it over to Colette and Mr. B. Here's the cure. If you work your tail off and you go into massive action, you'll have so many people, you won't have time to think about the people who don't show up. You're only focused on the people who do. And that's how you build a massive team in this profession. You talk to so many people, enroll so many people, you build a fleet of people that when people don't show up, you'll be thinking about them 6 months from now with your partner. Colette, whatever happened to so-and-so? Where did they go? And me and Colette did this before because we built 8,000 people in our last network. And Colette and I would always scratch our heads like, whatever happened to so-and-so? And Mr. Rohn teaches on this. He says, don't chase the birds. Plant your seeds. And don't chase the birds. You're never going to catch the birds. The wind took them. Somebody took them out of the business. The spouse didn't like it. It doesn't matter. Your job here on Z Team is to just plant as many seeds as possible. Enroll those who want to join you. And don't worry about the rest. Remember, someone's waiting for you right now. They're in your Rolodex and your phone right now, and you haven't called them. Don't be an idiot like me and not make a list of the people you love and respect the most and get to them right now. Like I didn't do with my mentor, Mr. Burnett. Like I said, I'm not heard about this because the man is family to me. And I'm just happy that we're a part of the same company. And I can assure you, if he will be willing to, he'll come in and teach some more to this group if he'd like to. And I know Jan is here. I know his sponsor, Jan Cleary, is here. I heard about Jan last night from Mr. B. I know Colette and Jan already have a relationship as two of the top leaders in this company, which is exciting. And I'm just happy to be here. So Mr. B, is there anything I shared that kind of lit up something in your brain that you wanted to add to that? We can't hear you, Mr. B. He'll be here in a second.
Yeah.
Mr. Burnett, we can't hear you. There you go.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, I was thinking when we were talking, Michael, to my first ever business experience. I just graduated from college. I crammed 4 years of college into 7. I was in 5 different universities. I didn't know where I was going. In fact, I got a worthless degree called in geography and anthropology. And I went down to an opportunity meeting in Santa Ana, California. A gentleman named Rick Damalack. And the interesting thing about it, I'd heard things I hadn't heard before. About, I would say probably 3 or 4 days after I was exposed to the opportunity, I invested $5,500, which I had to borrow, and from my brother actually at that time. And I got involved in the company with, I got $5,500 in product. I had no idea what to do with it. But what got me hooked was personal development. And I started working on me. And I went broke basically in a year and a half. I had 0 results. And I decided that I needed to tune up my game, so to speak. Within about a month or so after having made that decision, I was the #1 distributor in Santa Ana, California, because I read the books, the Think and Grow Rich, that we've all heard about. I read a lot of books. And the mentor I had at that time, I really only met him 2 times, William Penpatrick. William Penpatrick taught about the importance of mindset, the importance of keeping commitments, being on time. And the bottom line is you're in charge of your future unless you allow someone else to take charge of your future. It's all about your performance and about your commitment to getting things done. And I met the gentleman that absolutely introduced me to the Fluor Corporation. and the Jim Rohn, and the rest is history. Without that experience, and I should have said, I may have already said this actually. I went about a year and a half with no income, zero. And I walked out in my garage in Santa Ana, California, and I said, if I don't sell some of this product, I'm not going to eat. And so I started selling the product. I went down to Anaheim, California, to a gentleman named Mo. He owned a service station. And I told him, Mo, I will give you half of my profits if you'll allow me to get on your island and sell this product, Stay Power, to people that have an interest. And in about 3.5 weeks, I sold $5,500 in product. And that was life-saving. And the bottom line is you have to be committed and you have to take charge of your future. So anyway, Michael, I'm going to turn it back to you. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with the people, and we'll do it again sometime.
That sounds good to me. Thank you, Mr. Burnett. Guys, give it up for Mr. Richard Burnett.
Same back to you.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. So, guys, there's one thing that I wanted to add about the things that we can't teach people, which I think is very important for all of you to understand right now. There are 22 days left in the month of December. There are 22 days. Each and every one of you knows what the objective is by December 31st. I don't have to go back over what Colette's been teaching. It's important right now to treat this with a sense of urgency. Urgency, one of the things I can't teach you. One of the things that I think is and Mr. Burnett he's seen me in action. Everything I do it now. I do it fast. I do it now. I know a lot of people aren't like that naturally and instinctively, but let me ask you a question. If on December 31st, they make an announcement that nobody can enroll another DBO, and it's important to have a team of DBOs right now. If they decide to say no more DBOs, now listen, I know they're not going to do that, but can you put in your mind that they are going to do that? Can you all think to yourself that I've got 22 days to build the foundation of a team of people that are going to go sign up hundreds of thousands of TCMs? Because that's what the objective here is, to have people that use this card, swipe this card, buy things in the Z Club. I think I got it down now, Colette. I got this presentation down finally after listening to you brilliantly do presentations for Robert Chin the other day. Colette was on fire the other day, guys. On fire. Please utilize her, but take her seriously. And when you use her, edify her as one of the best of the best of the best, the best. But urgency. If you had 22 days, how many people are you going to bring in to your DBO organization? I think that's where we all need to be right now. It's very hard for me at this moment because I have such an obligation to what I'm doing here to raise my son and take care of my bills. But man, when I get home, when I'm driving home, I'm texting people, I'm calling people. I've got 4 people that are enrolling in the next 2 or 3 days. And then I got to work with those 4 people to help them bring as many people as possible, because I have a responsibility to help them become a solid founder of Transact Card. Is everybody with me? You got to do your part right now. You got to treat this with a sense of urgency. And once again, that's something I can't teach you. Either understand it and create that back against the wall. Like Mr. Burnett said, I don't eat unless I sell product. I've been able to brainwash myself all these years to treat the business like my life depends on it. If I had to give you one of my secrets, I treat this like my life depends on it. I talked to you this morning like our lives depend on this. This is a big business opportunity. This is not small. This is big. There'll be people in this company that are making more in a month than most people may be making a lifetime. Sincerely, I believe that. And this is not all about making money. It's about changing lives and helping people who right now are hurting in an economy that is literally slaughtering people. I see more homeless people when I leave my dealership every day than I've ever seen before. It breaks my heart to see so many people without a home. It was 27 degrees on my way to work this morning. And there are people that are sleeping on the sidewalk and in parking lots and on the street. Breaks my heart to see people like that. I never want to be like that. I never want my son to have to go a day without a roof over his head, whether it's a big roof or a small roof, or food in the refrigerator. It would break my heart. That's why I work my tail off and I seize every opportunity that's in front of me, like Transact Card and like the business I'm a part of here in the car business. So, Colette, I don't have too much more to share. Once again, I think your mind can only absorb what your butt can endure. It's 9:45. I want to throw this back to the woman who has created this entire organization like an animal. And I want to give our leader here at the Z Team a chance to address you all and close things down for this morning and go out there and make it happen, guys.
Wow, you guys, give it up for those two mentors right there. We just had a training, a teaching that was people pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for. We have an amazing mentor here, you guys. I forgot to tell you, one of his gifts is a sponge. He's a sponge. Did you notice how he can just repeat everything he heard from his mentors? And we just heard Jim Rohn times 2 right there on the screen, you guys. That was just incredible. Being able to, it is a gift, and it's not easy what he just did. He literally has a gift, but if you listen and re-listen to things and just repeat what you heard, that's all we have to do here, you guys, to be that leader that you want to be. Get out of your own way, get out of your comfort zone. You don't have to be great to start, but you got to get started to be great.
Yeah, Colette.
So I truly encourage each and every one of you, get out of your own way, do it, jump out of that nest. If it is to be, it's up to me. We've got to just move and go. We have those. How many days did you say, Michael? How many days we have?
22, because today's the 9th, and it's, if you count today, I believe we got 22 days till the end of the year.
22 days. 22 days. Let's go. Let's make this year the best year you've ever seen so far.
Hey, Colette.
Yes.
If I were in anyone's shoes right now, this is what I would tell you to do in the next 22 days. Pick a day, whether it's 2 days from now, 3 days from now, 4 days from now, 5 days from now. Pick it and call it your launch of Transact Card, even if you've already done one. Pick a day and come back to Colette or me or your leader, Suzanne, or whoever you're working with. Steve Yurjevich just texted me. Thank you, Steve. Whoever you're working with, Mark Langley, Esther, whoever's your leader, schedule a Zoom. Put it in their book. Put the pressure on yourself to perform for your leader. You know, one of the things I always want to do for Mr. Burnett, Mr. Call, I always wanted to make them proud. Is anybody else like that? I want to make them proud. You know how you make your mentor proud? You show them how serious you are. You know how you show them how serious you are? You put numbers in front of them. You put people in front of them. Colette, as a matter of fact, as I'm talking about this now, I'm going to pick a date where I'm going to edify you, and you and I are going to do a relaunch of our Transact Card business. For me, I'm going to talk to as many people as I can. I'm going to put it in the calendar, and you and I are going to do a Zoom. You all will be invited, just so you know, but it's going to be my launch, just so you know. It's my launch. I'm doing a Zoom. Doors will be open. I'm going to invite as many people as I possibly can with a sense of urgency to come here from my partner, Colette, to give them a chance to be a part of Transact Card. Colette, let's lock that in today. Put that in your notes. We're going to lock in a date, and I'm going to lead by example by doing that with my partner, Colette. She's going to do that for me. I suggest each and every one of you do that. Suzanne, get on your horse right now and go put 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people on a Zoom. Launch this the right way. Esther, 20, 30, 40, 50 people. Langley, you're a leader, but leverage Colette and myself. Go do another relaunch before this month is over. Everyone on the screen, pick a date where you're going to do a relaunch or a launch for your business, and let's do this right. There's nothing wrong with the onesie twosies. Don't hear me the wrong way. As a matter of fact, you might need to do some onesie twosies to lead up to your launch so that they can invite some people. You follow me? So don't worry about the onesie twosies. If you're going to be serious with your upline and your power team, then do those to lead up to your launch. But have that boom where you load up a Zoom. That rhymed. I didn't do it on purpose. But have that boom where you get everyone on the screen and give Colette a chance to knock them dead for you. We need to put numbers in front of this opportunity before the founder opportunity is over, and that should be our urgency.
100%. Great plan. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, we have everything we need here. Do you hear me saying we? This isn't a me thing. This is a we thing. Use me, use Michael, use Mark, use Esther, use Jeff Myers. I see you guys. Use Suzanne, use Shelly Martinez. Shelly Martinez, you have the skills, girl. Let's go, you guys. Just use us. You don't have to do this on your own. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You've heard that many, many times. And in this team, it's very, very true. So we're going to end this.
Actually, you're not going to end it. You're going to teach everyone before we go about the woo.
Hey, that is you. The woo is you. You've already told me that I don't do it right.
But Colette's got to work on her woo, so let me help.
I say woohoo, and Michael says woo. Every morning when you wake up.
You know what? When I wake up in the mornings, and sometimes I wake up and I want to just roll over and stay in bed. You know what I do? I woo. Because I know that when I do that, it changes something molecularly in my body. If you guys can try that with me, 1, 2, on the count of 3, everyone unmute your lines. Everyone unmute your lines. On the count of 3, we're going to do the woo, okay?
Hold on, you got to wait till they're unmuted here.
Yep. Well, we can unmute the whole line, I think.
Wait a second. And the other thing is, if you wake up and you cannot feel that woo coming on when you roll out of the bed, then roll over the other direction, get out of the other side.
You ready? 3, 2, 1. I'll tell you real quick, my partner, Charmaine, who I think is going to join us as well in a program in the past. Richard Burnett knows Mr. Burnett knows Charmaine. She's one of my best friends in the world, like Colette, one of my best friends in the world. Charmaine, I used to call her because we get so excited about this. But Charmaine, we just had a meeting with 30 people and 20 people joined. And I would get so excited that I would just walk around the house going, wow. I'd be in the shower and she would come over. She's like, oh, Michael's wooing again. But for whatever reason, the woo just wakes up your spirit and it gets you excited to just do this business. Right now, you might not be in the woo mode because maybe you don't have a lot of action. But I can promise you when you log in your back office and you see 10 people join today, you're going to start to woo. So let me know when it happens. Do it before it happens so you can prepare yourself for what's going to happen. Anyway, I love each and every one of you.
Have a great day. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank
Corporate-
you.
All right.
corporate
Thank
calls.
you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Burnett.
you. Thank you.
Mr. Burnett. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a great
Bye.
day.